UFC Shanghai is coming up this weekend, and today, guys, I have the complete betting guide for you with timestamps if you'd like to skip to any part of the video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with 20 YouTube channels. So, with these videos, we're going to be going through the channel betting recap, confident picks, underdog opportunities, fights that I believe you should not be betting on, my personal lock of the week, and then we're going to close things out with the more unstructured part of the video, that being looking for any props that are available and any stupid parlays that we can make. With that being said, again, timestamps are there if you'd like to skip to any part of the video. Let's get started with the channel betting recap. And we had a good week, man. We had a very good week. I am shocked, dude. Absolutely shocked that we missed out on the fun parlay over here, okay? So we had 3 official plays and 1 fun parlay. If you guys are brand new to the channel, I throw $5 entertainment value. I still do think the parlay is going to hit, but I'm somebody who hates parlays, so it's a fun parlay. We had Michael Olekstruck to win, Lerone Murphy to win, and Gadzi Rabadinov lost of all people. Dude, you know what's crazy is when I was putting that parlay together, I was like, Gadzi's such a big favorite that there's really no point in adding. I was like, it's a fun parlay. I like watching fights. And then he lost. He lost. I couldn't believe that, dude. Man. You know, part of me was a little bit concerned with the size difference, but still, I was like, Gadzi's so good. His team's so good. I'm gonna put him in the parlay anyways. Didn't work out. So, hey, it happens to the best of us, right? Anyways, I'm happy to report for our, we had 3 official plays, but one of them got canceled, that being for Brian Battle versus Nurulsan Ruziboev to go over 1.5 rounds. My logic there was they're 2 really, really strong, tough guys. I didn't think either one of them were going to finish each other, but we had a 0.5 unit bet on Michael Page to win and a single bet 1 unit for Carlos Prates to win. Both guys had really, really great performances. I expected them to win, and hey, we're doing good. We've been doing so good with the betting the last few months. I think there was only one card where we had a little bit of a hiccup, but even then, like, man, we're strolling pretty good right now, and I'm happy for it. So, guys, if you would like to either support the channel or seeing exactly what I'm doing with my money each week, then you can check out the membership, which is very cheap compared to other channels, the channel membership, in the pinned comment description down below, or right next to the subscribe button every single Friday or Saturday morning, depending on whether or not I want to bet on any Friday fights. I'll be posting a community members video diving really deep into my picks and why I'm making these picks, along with the community members post just like this if you'd like to see exactly what I'm doing. If you'd like to combine my fight knowledge with your own research, either that or support the channel. Additionally, a tool that we use on this channel, OddsJam. If you'd like to get a discount for OddsJam, pin comment description down below, my code, Clenbat. You can get a discount when you're signing up to OddsJam, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into the actual part of the video over here, okay? Let's start off with the confident picks, okay? We're going to start off for my first confident pick with Rong Zhu. I think that against Austin Hubbard, this is probably going to be a striking match, and while neither guy is really, like, you know, made me go, wow, though that's a really, really great fighter, I think in a stand-up battle, which I believe this fight will take place at, Rong Zhu is going to be just slightly better. I think he's going to outstrike him. I think that it's going to probably go to decision, and Rong Zhu is going to get the job done. One of those, not too much of a, not too in-depth there. But guys, also, we do have a full card breakdown video if you're interested in me diving as deep into these fights as we could possibly get. A little bit more of a recap here for you, okay? Let's continue on to the next confident pick. This one comes with a problem, okay? My next confident pick is Sergey Pavlovich. As if you've been following the channel, you might know that I like to be as honest with you guys as possible, okay? I have called Waldo Cortez Acosta's fights completely wrong. I have a horrible, horrible, horrible history about it. I am somebody who doesn't really have faith in Waldo Cortez Acosta. I just don't think he's that great, but he keeps winning, okay? So that's very important to note if you're coming over to this channel taking any sort of advice. I have horrible history on Waldo Cortez Acosta and his fights, but I think that Sergey Pavlovich is going to dummy him. Sergey, especially in his last fight against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, I think that he showed that there was a separation between, like, the top 5 at heavyweight and everybody else, and Waldo Cortez Acosta kind of fits into that everybody else category. I think they're going to stand up, and Sergey Pavlovich is going to box his head off for 3 rounds. But again, I keep calling it wrong, and I want to bet on Sergey Pavlovich. But the fact that I keep calling it wrong makes me is making me stop it a little bit, okay? Let's continue on to the next confident pick, guys. It's going to be Aljamain Sterling. I love the way that he looked at his when he came up to 145. The Calvin Kattar, it was basically a free win, but then he actually had a very, very good fight with Movsar Evloev and kept up in a lot of the grappling scenarios with Movsar Evloev. I know I don't usually like to go to MMA math, but I think it applies for these 3 matchups. I think if Movsar Evloev were to fight Brian Ortega, Movsar would kind of throw him around and ragdoll him. Aljamain Sterling showed that he is just about there on Movsar's level. With that, along with Brian Ortega being or exiting his prime right now, not looking good in years, being inactive, I like Aljamain Sterling in this fight. He's brought the 135 skill set, which is the toughest division in combat sports history, over to the featherweight division, and he's been performing well, so I think that he's going to beat Brian Ortega, and they're probably going to grapple, to be honest with you. For my final confident pick over here, guys, it is going to be Oleg Popov over in the PFL, excuse me. It's more so because Alexander Romanov never really became the fighter that he was being hyped up to be. He showed up, he was overweight, and while he still is putting together wins and he still does have a good record, Oleg Popov is somebody that I've just been more impressed with. He's one of those heavyweights. He's one of those giant, really, really strong guys that actually has real strong technique on the feet. He's not just your average heavyweight. He comes in and he actually, like, game plans. He comes in and he has combinations. Like, it's sad to say because it's professional athletes, right? But you don't see a ton of that heavyweight anymore. And Alexander Romanov leaving the UFC, we kind of know what he's all about. I like Oleg Popov in this matchup personally. I don't think that Alexander Romanov's going to beat him. But now, guys, let's continue on up the card to some underdog opportunities. These are not bets that I'm going to make. These are not even necessarily picks of mine. It's just if we were to see an upset over here, guys, it would not shock me one little bit, okay? The first underdog opportunity that I have for you guys, and I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this, but I should have talked about this in the betting recap. I know it's so hard to say. I know it's so hard to say in hindsight. Go back to my full card breakdown if you're really that interested, because I know I was hyping him up. I wanted to bet on Tim Elliott. I knew better. I knew he was a dog, man. And while I'm not getting the same strong feeling as Tim Elliott over here, it's kind of the same sort of logic. Charles Johnson is my first underdog opportunity, okay? The reason being, Loner Kavanagh, while he looks like a strong contender, whether or not he picks up losses, I believe he has championship capabilities one day. I do not believe he's going to be somebody who gets fraud checked. And if he loses to Charles Johnson, I do not believe it will be a fraud check, okay? Loner Kavanagh looks like he's going to be great. But Charles Johnson proved time and time again since coming to the UFC how much of an animal this guy is. He is getting such good high-level experience against such good competition. He's taking on everybody. He's being active. He's 34 years old, just exiting his prime now. Age hasn't caught up with him yet. He's been very crisp. His defense is really good. I think he's a very good and underrated fighter, and Loner Kavanagh's kind of being thrown in there right now after having his performance against Felipe DeSantos, which he looked great in, don't get me wrong. I just think that there might be a little bit of an experience difference over here. Charles Johnson has seen a lot of guys, not similar in style to Loner Kavanagh, I want to say, but he's been in this position before where you have a new guy coming into the UFC, somebody who has all the hype in the world, been having some great performances, just for Charles Johnson to win. I think he has a very, very good chance here, and just for the value, it's a bet that I'm honestly considering making. But again, I don't believe this is just going to be like, there's this new guy coming to the UFC. I really do have faith in Loner Kavanagh and his career, okay? Let's continue on to the next underdog opportunity, Kevin Borjas. For a fight that, and we've talked about Kevin Borjas before, and the holes in his ground game, and so that's something that he absolutely needs to work on. I don't believe Sumidarji is going to exchange in the grappling with Kevin Borjas, and I expect this to be a stand-up fight. When Kevin Borjas is standing up, he is an excellent striker, and he's coming off of a near-perfect performance. When this guy is able to fight on the feet, he is a problem, and I believe Sumidarji will keep him on the feet, and if they stay on the feet, I think that Kevin Borjas actually is a better striker than Sumidarji. I'm actually picking Kevin Borjas in this fight. It's another bet that I'm personally considering making, okay? Let's continue on to the final underdog opportunity, and it is going to be over in the PFL again, Sergey Bistosteny. Apologies if I pronounce his name wrong. This is one of Fedor's guys that I've been paying attention to. He's another guy that he's not like, I don't know what his career is going to look like down the road, but for an underdog value against Carl Williams, I really don't mind that at all. Carl Williams, he's past his prime now. He's been inactive, and I know that he's had a lot going on, right? But he never really turned out to be that guy that a bunch of us were really, really hoping to be. And Sergey Bistosteny has been racking up some decent experience against some good competition. And again, it's important to note he's one of Fedor's guys, and they have some good guys training over there. He's in his prime, and I actually also do believe that he's going to win this fight. But for this one, I'm not going to be betting on. The other two, I'm very tempted to bet on. I'm most tempted to bet on Kevin Borjas. But again, when it comes to my betting specifically, I'm more so like on the safer side, okay? Like, I want to bet on Sergey Pavlovich, but again, I keep calling his fights wrong. Let's continue on to a few fights, guys, that I believe you should not be betting on. The first fight of that is going to be Michel Pereira versus Kyle Daukaus. Now, This is more so because of Michel Pereira, and we all know that he went through that horrible loss with Anthony Hernandez, okay? He showed up in the next fight after historically being this crazy explosive guy coming out there to kill you. Michel Pereira switched things up against Abus Magomedov. He tried to fight technical. He tried to reserve his energy. And he really changed after that loss that he suffered to Anthony Hernandez, which I understand that you'd want to make some adjustments, but there was no danger whatsoever when Abus Magomedov was against him, and he didn't look good. When Michel Pereira shows up and he tries to have a technical fight, it's not a good look for him. So the question is, what Michel Pereira is going to show up? Because he had that embarrassing loss, tried to switch things up. What's he going to do now? Is he going to go back to coming out there and just trying to floor somebody? We don't know. For that reason, I'm going to skip out on this one, because if Michel Pereira were to come out and like guns blazing like we saw him with his little win streak that he put together, I do believe that he would beat a Kyle Daukaus, okay? Let's continue on to the next bout. Long Jiao versus Su Young Yu. It's one of those fights just like the next one that we're going to be talking about, where you have two up-and-coming guys that have been looking good. I think it's just a tough fight to call. That's pretty well all there is to it. I don't mind a round line for this one, but I would stay away from picking that one personally as well. Same thing with Tailakini Nurojai, excuse me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong again, versus Kiefer Crosby. I worry about the Super Saiyan, and I'm not sure how good he's going to look in here, because he's had some nice highlights, and he's had some nice performances, but at the same time, the dude's kind of hittable, and Kiefer Crosby, we kind of know what to expect from him now. I'm just unsure about the level of Super Saiyan, and I'm going to stay away from this one as well, okay? Now, guys, let's continue on over to Lock of the Week. The fight on the card that I am personally most confident in is going to be Min Yang Zhang. I don't see him losing to Johnny Walker, excuse me. Johnny Walker, if he comes in and he starts swinging bombs, then he can make it a 50-50. But Min Yang Zhang looks like he's actually going to be one of those really strong contenders, and I like the way that he's been finishing people. I like his aggression, and I don't see this fight going any other way besides Min Yang Zhang coming in and clipping Johnny Walker, and then it's going to be one of those goofy Johnny Walker highlight KOs. I really don't see that fight going any other way. Johnny Walker has not looked good in years, even in his wins. He's barely scraping by and fighting like technically, but he's not the best technical fighter. Min Yang Zhang looks like he's going to have a bright future. He's on a nice win streak, and he's fighting... I was about to say where are they fighting Shanghai, but he's fighting at home too. All the hype's around him. The UFC's kind of setting him up to be a little bit of a big thing here, okay? Min Yang Zhang is my most confident pick on this entire card. Now let's continue on to the more unstructured part of the video, guys. Let's see if there's any props that we can take a look at over here. What's going on, okay? We have... Oh, the Contender Series I'm looking at right now. This video is going up the day of the Contender Series. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with most of the Contender Series guys besides a couple people with the LFA with having LFA experience. I've seen them fight here and there, but unfortunately, I don't feel educated enough to talk about the Contender Series, okay? What else do we have going on over here? Kyle Daukaus, Michel Pereira. Under 2.5 is minus 143. I don't hate that. Depends how Michel Pereira ends up coming out, though. Over 2.5 for Charles Johnson, Loner Kavanaugh. Kiefer Crosby. Over 1.5 is at plus 160. Yeah. There's not... Usually with the round lines, guys, there's nothing that really stands out to me, unfortunately. Like, I like Rong Zhu, Austin Hubbard to go to the distance, but at minus 238. Man, I wish there was more to talk about the props over here, but let's make some stupid parlays. Let's see what we can get over here, okay? As you might know, I really hate MMA parlays, so there's always a little bit difficult to start going for me. But you know what? Let's pick some fights, okay? Oh, there's so many that I really don't like, man. We're gonna pick Uran. We're gonna pick we're gonna pick, I don't know. We're gonna skip that one. We're gonna pick Charles Johnson. We should skip this one too, man. We're gonna pick Michel Pereira, Rong Zhu. We're gonna pick Weston Wilson. We're gonna pick Sergey Pavlovich, Kevin Borjas. We're gonna scrap that fight. Stay away from this one, too. We're going to pick Aljamain Sterling and Min Yang Zhang. With this many close fights, guys, something is bound to go wrong. Like, even if you want to put, like, $20 on that, you almost get $1,000 back. But, man, like, there's so many tough fights over here. Like, Aljamain Sterling, that's a little bit... You could even put these two together. I'd be pretty confident in saying that, to be honest, the Aljamain Sterling and Zhang Min Yang. But there are a lot of fights over here that I don't... I usually hate making MMA parlays. This sport is too close for something to go wrong. Like Charles Johnson is excellent value over here, whereas Kevin Borjas. Kevin Borjas has more of the same. I'd be careful with this card. If you guys don't follow the channel, you might not know. My sister and I put 10 cents on every single underdog every week. And one time we were watching Bellator, we were almost millionaires. Let's see what we get for 10 cents over here, $70,000. Could you imagine? Dude, one day it's going to happen. One day, man. But Not a ton to work with the parlays, guys, but if you want to continue watching and seeing me dive into these fights as deep as we could possibly get, check out the full card breakdown right here. I would love to have you over there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody.